So if you are watching the YouTube channel, you can see on our board a very controversial statement made by Delson.
Made by Dose?
No,
Shit.
but of course, this week I would say probably the biggest news outside of the poor, shitty things that happened in Hawaii was Tory Lanez finally got sentenced. And I know we talked about it on this show before, but there's finally been a sentencing. The man has been sentenced by a California courtroom to 10 years in prison for the alleged shooting of Megan Thee Stallion. And I say alleged even though he was found guilty because we technically still don't know what happened. Like, people
How?
honestly still don't really know what happened, bro. Like,
That's
there's
like-
no, like, even
Okay.
till, like, Tory Lanez even just released a statement today saying he still stands on his innocence and he's not apologizing, but he'll hold down whatever sentence they give him and shit. So, I was reading more about it in general. Essentially, again, when I was reading, there was no, like, clarification of really what happened except everybody alleged that Tory Lanez shot at Meg Thee Stallion around her feet with the gun, and the bullet fragments got into her legs from ricocheting off the floor. That's allegedly the assault. So, when the sentence came out, the internet, what was crazy is like the internet was also still,
No, they were on
divisive
Meg's
on the
side.
decision. Because remember when we first talked about this, we had all stood on certain sides in the sense of like, oh, nothing's clear cut who's wrong, who's right in this. Because if he didn't shoot her, all this stuff, whatever. Still feel that, not necessarily feel the opinion, but I'm still feeling like things are cloudy. I can't say deliberately who is guilty. We just got to go with what happened, what the verdict was, which is they gave him 10 years. So the big thing this time was the punishment fit for the crime? 10 years, some people feel like is extremely excessive, and some people feel like 10 years might not have been enough because of allegedly shooting at a woman. So I just kind of wanted to hear what you fellas thought on it. If you like, I can go first just to go ahead and start it off. In a sense, for me, I still don't know who did it, who didn't. But if he's guilty, the one thing that did make me cringe a little bit was the statement today. Because if you already have found guilty, and I understand you're trying to stand on your innocence at the end of the day, but at some point, and this is now I'm about to jump into like the little sexist bag. Do you feel like as men we should just straight up take accountability and take it on the chin? Like, he's not taking accountability for anything, which is fair because he believes he's innocent, but he's also not being accountable for there was a legit woman that got hurt in this incident. Whether he shot the gun or not, he did play some sort of part, and I don't think he's taking accountability for that. That's where I cringe. Outside of that, I couldn't tell y'all, dog. 10 years for shooting at someone? I don't know, because I know, like, in California, gun laws are crazy. Like, what does that get you here in Florida? Like, seriously, like, what would that get you here?
I don't know. It depends if she's running at him or not.
That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, it's Florida. I mean,
Florida,
he could
yeah.
say it's self-defense and actually use a gun. Like, that's just how Florida is.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're asking me the question, California doing that, shooting towards a woman, it's a bad idea, my brother. Even if he did it, I don't know how. Even if he didn't do it, he was around it,
Yeah.
and because of that, he hasn't said anything. Code of the streets, probably. I personally don't think that if he was taking a rap for someone else, that he would claim to be innocent.
Yeah.
Because that would be dry snitching, firstly. And then, and I don't know what type of person he is and what type of honor he has when it comes to that type of thing. But I'm just saying, like, if that's what it is, if he's taking it for someone else, then he wouldn't be claiming that he's innocent.
That's allegedly what's going on, by the way, too.
He would shut the fuck up, though. Mm-hmm. If he was taking it, he would just shut the fuck up and not say, "Oh, I'm still innocent."
Right.
Because that would make the police officers keep investigating, right? And you don't want that, because whatever friend you have, that person needs to be protected for whatever reason you have to protect them.
Now, mind you, don't forget, too, guys, he did decline the first plea deal. They offered him a plea deal of 3 years. He was going to do 2 in prison and possibly 1 come home on house arrest. He declined it because he stood on his innocence. Mm-hmm. And now he got what he got. They're saying he's already accounted for 305 days of time spent, which is going to go to his sentence. People don't think he's going to do 10. They say he'll do 4.5, maybe 5. But he's going to have to sit down for a little bit. And, you know, for me, it's like, that's a great point. I didn't even think about that, bro. Like, if he is taking, you know,
why
holding
would
it
he
down,
keep
being,
talking shit?
I ain't snitching, and you holding down. Why you over here saying, like, I still ain't do it?
I didn't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not snitching, but I didn't do it.
Yeah.
It's like, then shut the fuck up. If that's the case, that's the first thing. That's the first thing I always think. When someone is saying that they're innocent, they're not protecting someone else. You know what I mean? They're not, because
someone has to be guilty.
Someone did it. She didn't go to the doctor with bullet fragments in her leg because she put it there herself.
And I don't know if you've seen the video at the time of her walking when the cops are there, and she's walking towards the cops, and there's blood like literally coming out her feet.
Yeah.
Like she's straight up bleeding. I haven't seen the
video, but that's crazy.
Yeah, she's like walking like this, like, and the cops are telling her, walk slowly, whatever, and she's walking, bro. You see like blood coming out her feet.
Yeah, like she didn't make that up.
No, she didn't.
You see what I'm saying?
The thing is, and I know we're kind of straying away, she also didn't snitch on Tory. Like, when they originally asked her, she said, "Oh, it's glass." And then when doctors took the fragments out, they're like, "Miss, this is not glass. These are bullet fragments. What happened?" And that's when the real story came out. Mm-hmm. So, you know, she really didn't start saying shit till Tory started getting crazy, and then brought the baby out on stage. Remember that? Mm-hmm. Well, he brought the baby out on stage, and the baby was talking shit about smashing Meg Thee Stallion and shit like that too. So,
bro, do you see what I'm saying?
It feels like he was antagonizing the law in a way because he felt like he was untouchable.
Right. And then my second point, and I'm sorry because I didn't finish. I just want to get this across, is that Tory, you have to, when you're thinking about someone and when you're thinking about a case, you got to think about past. Like, when you're thinking about a case that someone did something violent in, mm-hmm. right? They don't just look at this specific thing in a vacuum. They don't do that. They look at what you've done in the past, what other things have allegedly happened with you.
Remember the Algus Alsina thing?
Exactly what I was going to bring up. So you're a violent person. You're an angry person. You've shown your anger. You've shown your anger multiple times. Yes, bro. You did this shit, bro. I'm 100% sure he did.
You think he did it?
I'm 100% sure he did. I'm 100% sure. And whatever 10 years, I don't know if they gave him. They threw the book at him with the 10. I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna admit it. Maybe they gave him too much time. Maybe they did, because she's not dead. Like, she didn't. Like, nothing happened to her really, right? But at the end of the day, is this person a violent person? I'm gonna say yes. Would this person black out and do something?
Like an erratic, violent person.
Exactly. Would this person do something erratically in the spur of a moment because he feels disrespected and felt his pride attacked? I think this person would do something out of the passion of being angry at the fact that someone's coming for your whole fucking aura or whatever.
Your ego.
Your ego.
Yeah.
Like, oh, you know, I heard it was over height, you know, and it may be true.
It was worse, bro. Over height. Shitted on him about his height. Shitted on him about her songs charting top 10 and his wasn't.
Oh.
Like she was telling him like, oh, what's the highest song you ever had? Like 90?
Right.
She's like, mine's is charting at number 9 right now. Like, I was reading, bro, like the details of what apparently the conversation imbued, and
you don't think that
going ham. And listen, this is coming from a short dude. We just spoke about it. I'm kind of different because I grew up with y'all, where in a sense like I'm not immune, but like jokes don't do nothing to me. Like, right. I've accepted who the fuck I am. Mm-hmm. Tory may have not been that. He could have been a dude who, you know, reached stardom, and then now from there got to him to a point where he thought he was the shit, and then when someone else came at him on that level and then brought him down, he couldn't take it. His ego couldn't take it.
He's surrounded by yes men,
allegedly.
probably.
I'm not trying to say he shot, but I could see where that anger may have stem from?
You hang around with yes men all day. You hang around with people that tell you you're the fucking shit because they make money off of you.
Yeah.
And then turn around and some fucking random new girl keeps telling you that you're not charting on the top of the charts and you're a short little dude. Probably said his meat was small or some shit. I'm just saying that in that specific situation, someone shooting a gun at the floor and it bouncing off an accident seems like something that could happen. And it seems like I'm thinking that he did that shit.
And you thinking the 10 years may be warranted?
No. I think he's gonna do the 5. I don't think he's gonna do the 10. Do I think he deserves 10? I mean, if it was my daughter that got bullet fragments in her leg, I would say he earned himself a good 25er.
If it was your kid.
If it was my daughter.
Okay.
But since it's not my daughter, another thing people gotta think about too is Meg Thee Stallion's a cash cow, bro. She's making somebody money right now. She's making millionaires richer right now with making music, right? You think that I'm going to let little old Tory Lanez tear up my fucking cash cow? You're going to jail, bitch.
So you think even if she didn't want to do it, the people behind her probably push that?
100%.
That's a good point, man.
There's many things with this case going on at the same time. It's not just a person hit a person. This is 2 famous ass people, bro.
Yeah.
He threw away
They say he's gonna be good when he get out.
And he is. And the thing is too, he keeps saying he's innocent. That's gonna bring controversy when he comes back. That's gonna make him money in the long run. He keeps saying he's innocent is gonna make him money in the long run. He can't admit to the fact that he did it. He can't unless he stays in there for 5 years and then at the end of the 5, he's like, "Oh yeah, sorry guys."
There'd be no point at that point.
But there's no point at that point.
Okay. What about you, D? Now you're hearing all the details. You think my boy being locked up for the 10? You think it was right or it was too much?
I don't agree with you guys at all about the whole thing.
Oh, and by the way, the gun wasn't registered too.
He can get pinned for that.
Well, he did.
Right? No, what I'm saying, like that one is a valid one. Mm-hmm. But you guys know that their best friend was there and they stopped being friends after that?
Yeah, because he allegedly fucked both.
After that incident,
like that was where the fight stemmed from.
She stopped fucking with Meg?
Yeah, that's where the fight stemmed from, was the fact that I guess Meg found out that he was blazing both hip hop and R&B. They was beefing. Then Meg started shitting on him for, trying to play who she is, and obviously ego.
Yeah,
that's where we get.
Let's not treat it in a vacuum though. I'll treat let's say he's guilty, right?
Okay.
10 years for aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. I think that's what they're getting him for. That and the fact that the gun was registered. I still think in that sense, because he was not in any way, shape, or form trying to kill her. We all know this.
Right.
That's a given. Right. Based on how it happened, based on the facts.
Yeah, he wasn't
trying to kill her.
Because he would have.
Or either way.
He could have.
Yeah, either way.
And it wasn't his intent.
Right.
Whoever shot the gun, it was not his intent.
Right.
10 years for aggravated assault. It just seems like a lot. It seems like it's excessive. And keep in mind, everybody keeps saying, oh, he did that to the woman. He did this to a woman. None of the laws say if it's a female, we give them more time. And I'm a father of 2 daughters. The laws aren't written that way.
No.
Public perception's that way.
Yes.
So if we let the laws be swayed by public perception, I'm not fucking with this at all.
Okay.
If it would have been a dude on a dude, do you think he's doing 10?
Probably not.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that's why I look at it like this is excessive. The only reason why he's doing 10 is simply because it's Meg Thee Stallion. But does that make the laws correct? Does that make it fair?
So let me
if he would have shot at a dude or shot at a non-famous person, he would not be doing 10.
Okay. Throw the sex part out of it. What if it was this? He declines the plea, right? The 3 years. The court probably takes that as disrespectful.
That's not how laws work.
I know. I understand it.
That's not how laws work.
You come back, but the thing is, human nature is different too, bro. You come back, you're doing these things, saying the stuff that's happening in the court is ill practice, all this shit. You come back, 2 new lawyers, all this stuff. You're almost making a mockery of the courts, the law system, how things work.
Right.
He goes, essentially, still telling them, and now this time, all right, Tory, we gave you this. What Brian said, they remember the shit you do.
Right.
You put out statements that you don't feel any remorse, anything like that.
Right.
The court's like, yo, we try to give you a chance the first time, you ain't take it. All right, you want to go back? You want to do this? And apparently he would have been good had they not brought someone from his security team to testify. And what they were saying is the prosecution team flipped him. So like the dude that was technically on the defensive side with Tory flipped and essentially snitched on, not on Tory, but saying that Tory had that unregistered gun.
Mm-hmm.
He was the one holding it. So that's where they kind of pinned him. From there on, again, still nothing saying he legitimately shot her or at her. That's still in the air, dog. There's literally nothing saying. It's just he say, she say, and what the fucking jury decided. So Dustin does have a point too, but I also may think, is it possible that the court was like, you're not going to make a mockery of us, gave him the fucking book?
That's not how it works, bro. You got to remember, the judge is an unbiased party watching two people defend one side and the other. So the judge does not side with the state. So if the state...
It's not supposed to decide.
No, but let me at least say what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
So the state gives the plea, right? They're the ones that offer the plea to Tory's team.
The defendant.
Team says no.
Yep.
They can't take it personally because the judge is who sentenced him, not the defense.
Right.
Not the DA.
Right.
Like that's not how it works. So you can't say that because that's just not how it works. Like they don't they present the case for the people, for the state, and saying this is the reason why we think he's guilty and this is why he should be locked up. And once they make that case, let's say they found him guilty, then the judge makes a decision on the sentence. So the judge is the one that makes the decision on the sentence. If Tory's team is tearing apart the case, they're tearing apart the defense, the DA's case, not the judge's case.
Right.
Because the judge has nothing to do with it. The judge is just making sure it's a fair trial. And then once the trial is over, then they make a decision based on the information that's presented.
True.
So again,
that's how it's supposed to go, at least.
Yeah, because they're not supposed to side with the defense. Like it just doesn't. The DA is not the side of the judge. Like that's just not how it works.
I see what you mean.
But regardless, I go back to the initial statement. Like, if it wasn't a female, if that's, I'm allowed to say that now. I don't know what the bad words or the good words are. And if it wasn't a famous woman, then it wouldn't have been 10 years, bro.
Probably.
There's no doubt about it. If it would have been Tory Lanez shooting at The Weeknd, it wouldn't have been. Imagine if it would have been like fucking Kylie Jenner.
He probably getting 20 for a weekend.
If it would have been Kylie Jenner,
he going for life.
For life. And that's not how it's supposed to work. And that's why I don't like this. Because that's not how it's supposed to work. It's not supposed to be based on how people are going to perceive the case.
As much as I agree with you, bro, like, it's not supposed to be. Unfortunately, this world is not like that.
Yep.
It's not about what the world is and what's not.
It does.
And I get that.
Not how it should.
But that's just not. That in itself, saying that and being okay with that tells me everything I need to know about how this case went.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not fair. It's not supposed to be like that. And is Meg smiling as she does her music and shit? That rubs me the wrong way too.
She actually dropped she had a show last night.
Like seeing her out there out and about,
but
it just
did you see what she said?
Way.
She was like, "All you hating ass, something, got nothing to say now. Y'all try to break my spirit," and it didn't. Like, she's performing. She said that.
Yeah, but
after
you gotta,
the sentencing.
Yeah, that's fine, right?
Yeah.
But you sent the first mixed message.
What do you mean?
She's the first one to lie.
Oh, yes. That is very true. Yep.
So, like, how do you stand on that? And you were the first liar in the whole thing. How do we stand behind you and be like, oh, yeah,
remember.
If she would have started from rip, and I get it, she's trying to protect somebody that she was with. But we can't stand behind you and be like, oh, yeah, y'all hating motherfuckers. Yeah, see what happened now? When you were the first liar, bro.
No.
And then you went and did that sleazy ass interview on the fucking whatever the lady was. He told me to dance while he shot at me. Like, come on, dogs. Like, that didn't sway the jury's opinion. Come on, bro. That whole thing to me is like, even if Tory did it, it's all nasty to me. And now he's doing 10 years. Even if he does 5, let's say he was in this the whole time.
No, I agree with you.
If he was guilty.
What Megan did was
5 is excessive
nasty.
To me. It's nasty. All of it's nasty.
It was nasty, but at the same time, it's like that thing's like, if Brian hits me, right? If Brian hits me, and I retaliate how I choose to retaliate, he can't get upset about that. If I choose to pull out a gun and shoot him, he can't be upset because that's how I chose to retaliate.
I will be upset.
Megan Thee Stallion's retaliation was from, she didn't say nothing. She lied first. You're right. I'm with you. She lied first. But then Tory started talking crazy and started being disrespectful and then brought out, you know, the baby to his show, and they was disrespectful. So at some point,
that's a double-edged statement.
You're gonna say something. If you shot me, right? You shot me, and I'm trying to stay quiet because that's just the code I'm under. I'm not trying to even get you in trouble type shit, right? But I'm not even trying to get you in trouble on some put you away for life. But then you come out talking about, yeah, that's why I fucked Frank's girl.
Yeah, exactly. I'm gonna
hanging out with the dude. Hanging out with the dude I got beef with. Hanging out with the dude I got beef with, or who's been disrespectful to me out of nowhere. Like at some point, you know, I'm gonna be like, fuck Brian, fuck him. Then he shot me. Fuck him. He told me to do this and that, and now it's war. It's fucking war.
What was the statement you said to start it?
Huh?
What was the statement you said? You said you're not allowed to get mad at how you react to something.
How someone retaliates to you.
But what if she talked all this shit she did, and is she not allowed to get mad that he shot back at her?
I'm not justifying that. I get what you're saying, but there's extreme levels, bro. If we talk shit to each other, I'm not expecting you to pull out a gun and shoot me.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
In a civilized country.
Brian smacking the shit out of me is a different thing than him calling me a short piece of shit. Like, I'm not pulling out a gun for the insult. You hitting me, the anger in me might be high enough that what other way I'm going to defend myself? It's the same thing. You're Meg Thee Stallion, I'm Tory. I'm going to shoot your big ass because that's the only way I can fucking fulfill my short ass ego that I have.
What if that was?
Please don't do it. What are you?
But that's the thing. I just don't like how the whole thing went down.
Yeah, it was.
I don't think it's okay to set a precedent where somebody can flip flop back and forth like that, and then be happy when somebody gets locked up. Like I don't think that's okay. A lot
of people happy, bro.
I don't think that's okay.
I mean, Tory Lanez is a very arrogant asshole type of person, bro.
But what if he's not lying? What if he's because the only what if she's not lying? She lied from the beginning. She has no credibility. To me, she doesn't. If you lie off rip, how am I supposed to know anything else you say is true?
That's a good point. But even if the intention of the lie was to protect,
if the intention of the lie was to protect, I don't. Okay. Once you do it one time, how do I know that it's because now what ended up happening was Tory was messing with her image. And then that's when she retaliates. She's like, all right, I'm taking my fake statement back, and now I'm telling the truth.
Yeah.
But why? Because it benefits her to take that situation and flip it on how it turned out.
Don't you think that?
Because let's say
if I was Tory, I would have shut up. I'm gonna just be honest.
Let's say Tory would have found not guilty. What happens then? What happens if Tory becomes not guilty? What if the case was that Tory became not guilty? I
think the streets would retaliate.
Then no, I think she would go. He would go free, and then the friend would have to go on trial.
Right.
Because at the end of the day, no matter if he did or did not, she got shot.
Yeah, somebody put fragments in her leg.
Fuck. Especially now. Unfortunately, they wouldn't care about black women like that.
Bro, they're gonna go to trial, Delson. They're not gonna just be like, "Oh,
Meg
Tory's
never
free,
chased
we out."
In California,
someone's going to jail.
But Meg is the reason why the court case went that way.
Exactly.
Because she's not gonna chase after her friend, even if they're not friends anymore. She's never said anything about her friend.
But back to what Brian was saying. Brian was saying there's the powers that be that is like, we're not about to allow this to happen. I'm pretty sure Meg maybe had tried, even with the dissing, probably still wanted to stand on like, I don't want to get this man out of here like that. That shit's probably fucked up. Like, he gonna be gone. You know what I'm saying?
You know how sick it has to be for the machine behind Meg to be happy that a person's locked up, whether he's guilty really or not.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally what the benefit is. Now he's locked up long enough for people to forget about this.
Yeah.
And that's fucked up. And I think it's excessive. I think it's way too much.
Yeah.
Let's say he did it. I still think it's too long.
Yeah.
Based on the fact that he was never trying to kill her.
So if it was your daughter he shot at, you think 10 years is still too short?
I think it's excessive.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it's excessive. And my kid's not going to be telling motherfuckers like the way Meg was talking to him. She was trying to put him below the dirt. And that's a whole nother thing. That's a whole nother conversation that and it's an extreme case of it, but the fact that women feel like they can treat men however they feel like they can treat them,
Especially when
and
he's
if
mad.
a man reacts
or retaliates.
again, this is in a very, very extreme case. When a man retaliates, now we're the pieces of shit.
Right.
Women are allowed to treat us like they want to treat us, anything, like the bottom of the earth.
I ain't gonna lie to
And
you.
that's never okay. And that's part of it, but that's swept under the rug of this whole story. Yes, he took it way too far.
He's so all they
He
say
took it
all
too
they,
far.
All they go back to is the whole what's it called again? He's insecure. They love saying
They
that
say
word.
that's insecure, but when it flips on its
That's
head
literally-
and we poke back, that's the thing. It's like when we poke back, now we're
insecure.
we're supposed to be a welcome mat.
Yeah.
And I never liked that culture, and that's just how it is.
I agree with you to a certain extent because I still feel the extremity of shooting somebody is a little
I
too
already
much.
said
Yeah,
that.
yeah,
I already
it's
said
an
that. I said
extreme-
this
There's
is an
nothing in the
extreme
world
case.
that my girl could tell me or say to me that I'm gonna pull out a gun and shoot at her.
We're not built to react. We're not reacting to we're not built to react that way. And that's the thing.
But
that's us.
Wouldn't
But I
you
want-
say the same way about Tory being you're a millionaire, super successful, you fucking smashing bad chicks? Like
That's what I'm saying.
have
You got
way more
yes
to
men
lose.
around you that only say you the shit, my
I
nigga,
wouldn't.
you the shit. Yeah, because I'm paying you, bitch.
Yeah, that's a good point.
That's
It
just
probably
not-
was. If you have security, like back to the unregistered gun thing, it's like this goes back to his ego. Like, why do you have an unregistered gun if you have security with you?
Yeah, it doesn't even make that part doesn't even make
Any sense. Granted, we're allegedly saying he had the gun, but regardless of what, yeah, man, it's
I mean, the
either
gun
way, it's
didn't appear
nasty.
out of nowhere.
It's nasty all around. I can't sit here and say what he got was warranted or not because I don't know if he shot her. But 10 years for something that isn't legitimately solved, I do think is excessive. It was just more so the fact that, nobody still is admitting to shooting Megan. and because of that happening, that has to fall on someone. And unfortunately, it's the man in the situation. And if he did do it, then he got to sit down, dog. I'm sorry. Fuck all that women destroying our ego shit. Like, you got to sit down if you shot somebody. If you didn't, man, I really hope there's some sort of reverse something that when he gets out, he can appeal whatever, bro. Because that would be very fucked up if he literally really did take this hit for her ex best friend. A chick that you was smashing too.
So damn, hold on. So y'all think that he's not snitching on a girl? Like that's what's happening.
That's what's happening. Remember, what happened is someone shot Meg, right? He's saying he didn't shoot Meg, but he also ain't saying that the girl, her ex best friend didn't shoot her either. Like, he's not saying, like, he's saying I ain't shoot her, but I don't know who did. He's not saying I didn't shoot her, nor Delson didn't shoot her. You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that is molding where people think, oh, okay, so he didn't shoot her, but Shorty did. Shorty shot at her because apparently Meg was shitting on, like, going in on both of them, whatever. That's where, opinions are split right now. That Tory didn't do it, homegirl did it, or Tory did it, homegirl didn't do it. So, and I'm split on that because I think the point that you made earlier, Brian, is a good point. Why would I defend somebody who?
Why would I say?
Why would I
didn't do
say
it?
I did it if they
I'm
did it?
hiding.
Yeah.
I'm hiding my guilt. So I'm saying I'm guilty to hide someone else. Why didn't I just take the plea deal?
I would have just took the plea.
'Cause
But
he-
maybe
because he
back to
thought
what
it-
Delson said.
He thought he had a strong case.
Yeah, maybe what Delson said. Maybe he's so strongly on he's innocent, and it is true. And we're just sitting here because
He's like, I'm not going to sit here and admit that,
Right,
okay,
something I
I
didn't
went,
do.
I gambled, I lost, and I'm going to just take the L right on the chin. That's
Right.
what it sounds like. But at the same time, it's like,
It's
I
almost like what they
never,
expected him to do.
I would never plea if for a fact I know that I didn't do
Right.
it. I would just trust the lawyers that I paid for to prove what the truth is. Like, if I legit didn't make this, like, I did not shoot, then why would I sit there and take 3 years on the chin like that?
Yeah.
But now that he got convicted, he's like, I've been staying on the same store. I'm going to stick with it.
Yeah.
But if he did do it, right, he thought he had a strong case.
Yeah.
And it was divided. Most people thought he was going to get off.
Bro, I thought he was getting off, dog.
Yeah.
When they said the 10 years, my jaw dropped. I was like, no way.
Yeah, I was really surprised to hear that.
I didn't, not because I didn't think he deserved it, but like Delson just said, everything leading up to it sounded like they were going to quit him because back to the story, like there is no legitimate person that's admitted or, saying that they did it. Usually when it's guilty, there's hard-earned proof evidence that it's there, and there still hasn't been, and it's crazy.
It's all circumstantial.
It's all circumstantial, and it's crazy. The biggest thing that pins him was the flip of the security officer who stated he had the unregistered gun with him. That's the main thing that pinned him to everything, because if it wasn't that guy taking the stand, I think Tory would have got off.
And keep in mind, this is one of the double-edged swords of being a famous person. Usually when a crime happens within your entourage, you usually take the fall for it, whether you had anything to do with it or not.
Yeah.
Almost always.
Always. They always look at you first.
Right.
Always.
And you're just the name. It's just how it goes.
So who's the fall guy here? Like when we get hot, like who's going to boof the crack?
Definitely the person that's not on camera.
Huh?
Bryce the fall guy.
Fuck.
All right. Well, anyways, tell us what you guys think. Do you think Tory's sentencing was excessive? Do you believe it's actual perfect for what he got? Do you agree in our points of view or do you disagree? We love when you guys, of course, reach out and let us know what you think. So send those answers and answer our surveys too. Whoa. I wasn't going to say that.
Sorry, I got excited.
You got excited?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay.